Hey everyone, welcome back to The Bored Journalist. If you grew up on BET Classic programming, then you already know the vibes. We're diving back into the shows that shaped us in this series, raised by Viacom. Today, we're throwing it back to Video Soul, the show that brought us legendary interviews, live performances, and all the behind the scenes in R&B tea. Whether you remember watching these episodes back in the day, or you're discovering them for the first time, you're in for a treat. So sit back, relax, and let's press play on some Video Soul nostalgia. Whodini was among the first hip-hop electro groups to add R&B to their music, to cultivate a high-profile national following for hip-hop, and to make significant inroads in urban radio. Members of the group, which was managed by Russell Simmons early on, are Brooklyn natives Jaleel Hutchins, John Ecstasy Fletcher, and Drew Grandmaster D. Carter. In 1983, Whodini recorded its self-titled album, which included the single Haunted House of Rock, a Halloween-themed number that is still played today. Synth-pop pioneer Thomas Dolby helped produce another of the album singles, Magic Swan, which was originally conceived as an advertisement for prominent radio jock Mr. Magic, who worked for New York's WBLS radio. Magic Swan also had the distinction of being one of Whodini's most sampled songs. Whodini's 1984 release, Escape, which included 5 Minutes of Funk and The Freaks Come Out at Night, was certified platinum, selling over 1 million albums upon release. From 1982 to 1986, Whodini was at its most productive, touring with Run DMC, LL Cool J, the Fat Boys, and other prominent hip-hop, R&B, and funk bands. The group was also involved in the first Fresh Fest tour, which was the first hip-hop tour to play large coliseums nationwide. In 2007, Whodini, whose records have become sample sources for contemporary MCs such as Nas, Master P, Prodigy, and MF Doom, was an honoree at the 4th VH1 Hip Hop Honor. I've always loved this video, If I Ruled the World, with Nas featuring Lauryn Hill. So this song is actually a sample from Whodini, Friends. I'm gonna also add this clipping from Next Friday. This clip always went over my head, but now it all makes sense. Like, now I get it. I never understood it like 20 years ago. So
how many of us have them friends, ones we can depend on? Friends, shut the fuck up.
I don't even like Whodini.
So in our first clip, Johnny is here with the group and he is helping them perform. I actually got a good laugh out of this. It just reminds me of like my dad trying to be cool, and he's not cool, but it's hilarious. I'm so glad that he didn't take himself so seriously during these interviews. I can see why the show lasted as long as it did.
Fingernails, ponytails, down to the floor. You said that you brought them, so I get that they're yours.
Grace Jones 1 minute, Chuck Gunn the next. Selling hair everywhere, $20 an inch.
When I seen you today, it was a hell of a surprise. Yesterday, I didn't notice that you had green eyes.
Every time that I see you, your face looks strange. You're like Sybil. Every day, your personality changes.
Be yourself. Am I late? One more time, Daddy.
You got to
be yourself. All right, Grandmaster D, take it over.
Take it away, D. Oh! Hit it, D.
Great Grandmaster D.
Hit it again, D.
Hey, that's incredible. I think this is a first. I really do. Hit it again. Oh!
What's it now, D?
You see, you got this stuff together, but I'm calling your bluff. When you gonna learn that enough is enough?
If he jumped off the bridge, would you do that too? Monkey see, monkey do, you got to be you.
Everybody can't be in front of the line, so why you always wanna tag behind?
Went to school all your life and got a WB or diploma in school for a wannabe.
Be yourself. Got to.
I said you
got to be yourself. I think that's incredible. I think Johnny has proven himself worthy to be an honorary member of the Whodini clan.
Hey,
and it's not everybody that gets that place.
Our next group is Damian Dame. The group Damian Dame was comprised of Deborah Jean Dea Dame Heard, born in 1958, and Bruce Edward Damian Brodus, born in 1966. The duo was the first act signed to LaFace Records. Within the group, Damian handled most of the production and music writing, while Dame did the lyrics. In 1991, Damian Dame released their self-titled debut album. The album scored a hit with Exclusivity, which reached #1 on the R&B charts. The album's other singles, Gotta Learn, My Rhythm, and Right Down to It, were also minor hits. As the group geared up for their second album, tragedy struck. Damian Dame was killed in an automobile accident in June of 1994 at the age of 35. Damian released a solo album after her death titled Damian 1996. Sadly, exactly 2 years after Dame's death, Damian died of colon cancer. Alright y'all, so let's get into our second clip. So here Donnie is just kind of filling them out, kind of looking at Damian's hair, and kind of looking at her outfit. But this hairstyle must have been the go-to hairstyle for men in the early 90s, because I know Marquise Houston had like the same little bob. Like, I'm jealous because my hair never laid this flat. It always poofed back up. But the girl is so cute. She has such a really soft voice. Her speaking voice reminds me of Michelle.
But they have also risen to the top of the music charts. So first time out, they go to #1, and we have with us today on Video Soul, Damian Dame. Welcome. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got to be excited. I mean, you had to be excited in the beginning, even before the record came out, to be with Ellie and Babyface for your first project.
Absolutely. Oh,
yes. How did you two get together?
We met in Los Angeles through a musician that we both knew. And he had a demo tape. She had done a demo tape with him with some a cappella lyrics, no music. He called me over one day and asked me to do some music to his female idol. Two notes. Cut the tape off, called her up, she came over. We slammed that whole day, writing songs and stuff, and we just stayed together ever since.
We went to a recreational center.
Yeah, I had no equipment, so I had to go to like a recreational park and get on an untuned piano. We wrote one of the songs, matter of fact, that's on the album, Love Come In, in that recreational.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you really hit it off like that, didn't you, this day?
Yeah, it was wild. I was always looking for a female artist to work with anyway. You know,
to work with, I mean, you wanted to sing, to be a part of the act?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Boy, to be good. Talk about
I had the push to get in the sing.
Oh, really?
I was more in the music. Doing the music and stuff.
What about you? I mean, do you play anything, Tia?
Vocal
That's it. You just play your vocal box. And you play it well, too.
Thank you.
Do you have any interest in playing? I mean you don't even peck at the piano? Nothing at all?
Couple chords here and there, but it's just too slows me
I
down.
did a little bit of the video.
You know, but that's the video playing.
I'll probably perpetrate on the tour, probably.
What about you? What instruments do you
I
play?
play keyboards and drums and bass. Yeah. But my main is just keyboards, programming and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you've been playing since you were a kid?
Since 9.
Since 9?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was playing.
Is this what you always wanted to do, though? I mean, even though it seems like you're in a different capacity than you thought you'd just be a musician.
Yeah, I thought I'd just be a musician. I never really, this is my first time actually being front stage, you know, as an actor. I was always behind the scenes, you know, playing the boards and stuff, but I like the front stage. The front stage is cool.
Yeah?
I like it, yeah. I adapted to it real easily. Yeah.
What about you? You've always been front stage. I mean, obviously, as a vocalist, you have to be.
Yeah, but first I started singing background for my older sister and my brother-in-law's group.
What group? Would we know them?
No.
Okay.
They were at home in San Jose. And that kind of, I always knew I wanted to sing though. Always.
Did you do any background stuff on record?
Yeah, a couple things. For Baseman.
Oh, okay. So, y'all met in Los Angeles. Were you both actually living in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you from Los Angeles? Living just barely.
Yeah, hanging in there. But once we hooked up, it was like we didn't care about starting. We was just like glad to be together, you know. Got blessed with a studio to work in like for 3 months straight. You know, it was almost our studio. And then cut the demo.
Because we met, we started writing the very same day. 3 months later, we had a deal.
Wow. So how did you get your deal? How did you hook up with Ella and Babyface?
Well, towards the end of the production of the demo we were doing, they were calling Dia. Because I guess they were going to make the transition to Atlanta, and they wanted to see what she was up to. So when they called, you know, they finally got through. And it was like, yo, what you doing? Me and her was hooked up. They came over, checked out the tape. I was like, yo, y'all can work. So I was like, let's go then. So I said we waited about 5 months after that, you know, for them to establish a company in Atlanta, and then they moved us down.
So that wraps up that throwback clip with Damian Dame as they were sitting down with Donnie, just discussing what it's like to be a new artist signed to LaFace. May they rest in peace. So our last band that we're gonna look into is The Time. Did you know there are at least 2 bands called The Time? But the most iconic one, that would be Prince's funky side project from the early 1980s. Formed in 1981, The Time mixed pop, funk, soul, and dance music, becoming Prince's most successful protege band. Originally built from a local Minneapolis group called Flight Time, the lineup featured legends like Morris Day, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Jesse Johnson, and Jelly Bean Johnson. Prince himself pulled the strings behind the scenes, writing, producing, and shaping their sound. Their style, it's way more playful than Prince's, deeper, edgier work. Think funky party vibes with hits like Jungle Love, The Bird, and 777-9311. But behind the scenes, tensions grew. Members like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis were eventually fired after missing a gig due to a blizzard. But they went on to become one of the biggest songwriting and production duos of their era, working with artists like Janet Jackson. The Time gained even more fame thanks to their appearance in Purple Rain. But by 1985, Morris Day and Jesse Johnson left the group to go solo. Still, the legacy lives on. A version called Morris Day and The Time continues to tour, keeping the funky spirit alive. So let's get into this clip with The Time and Donnie Simpson.
The Time. What are some of the more crazier times that you guys have had on the road? Most memorable experiences?
I can't imagine what sparked that question.
Should have seen that coming, though.
Right.
I don't know. My mind seems to be drawing a blank.
I'm drawing a blank. I think one of the more memorable moments for me is, you know, we had been doing our tour in small joints. You know, we were looking for the club. What was the name of the club, the first club we were looking for? Stardust or something.
That's close enough.
Close enough. We were driving up this road, and it was like, we passed this little club, and we were looking for this big arena because we're like, it's time, we got to hit records. We know we're going to be playing in this big arena. And we're like, well, you know, we're driving, and we're going on out of town, and I was like, well, I did see a little club called Stardust. Back there on the right, you know.
In a van, too.
In a van.
Now, we was in the station wagon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But I know that wasn't it.
Yeah, that couldn't have been it.
But that was it.
That was it.
But guess what? That'll be flat.
There wasn't no stage or nothing. And the thing I remember is that Morris was singing lead. Now, there's no stage, so we're all playing on the floor. And there's a girl sitting right where you're sitting. And if Morris was standing right here, and she was looking at Morris like this all night. Just right up in his face. Just had a front row seat.
Don't do that.
There's about 10 people.
Don't you do that?
What? 10 people in the whole
There's about 10 people in the whole.
You know where that was? You know where that was?
3 of them were South Carolina.
What'd you say there? 3 of them were bartenders.
Don't you do that? Don't you do that? Oh, he did it.
But y'all still performed. You still went out.
Still went on. The show must go on. The only place we didn't play was there was a place in South Carolina that was on stilts.
Walk under.
And they, yeah, exactly. It was on stilts, and our manager came and said, "You guys aren't playing tonight." We said, "How come?" And they said, "Because the club is just not happening." And I'm like, "Well, look, we just played in the Shooting Star, whatever the club was. It can't possibly be worse than that." We pulled up to the club's on stilts, and we're in the station wagon. So Terry says, "Okay, I'll leave the motor running." Terry wasn't going to go nowhere. We walked in the club, Jesse.
We went.
The floor was like,
too, and we could see up in the club.
The floor was like this.
We went underneath the club and could see up in the club.
Exactly. We walked in the door of the club and looked around. There was a bunch of people in there playing pool and stuff. And one of them said, "Hey, at the time, ain't they supposed to be playing here tonight?" We said, "Oh, no." We hopped in the van.
And y'all were out of there.
Station wagon, we were gone. That was fun. That was in the early days. That was fun. That was crazy.
Was it fun then, or was it fun looking back on it?
Fun looking back on it.
It was fun then.
It was fun then anyway.
Because we got away.
We always got away.
And we had a reputation of going wherever people told us don't go. They'd say, "Oh, you can go to this club, you can go to this club, But whatever you do, don't go to whatever. That's where we be at.
That's where we go.
That's where we be.
Why? Immediately. Because we knew that wasn't happening.
We knew that wasn't happening.
And we were right every time.
Yeah,
We're right every time. It's just like critics.
Yeah.
This is the worst movie ever. That's you want to go immediately go see.
Alright, y'all, so that wraps up this clip. Such a influential band, but all the groups we discussed today were very influential during their time. I hope you guys enjoyed these throwback clips of Video Soul, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Bye.